That's right. Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is the CSRN Weekend Review, our weekly podcast where we come and talk about the things that we've done last week, and we're going to process the raising of the Pan-African flag, some of the things that we're working on right now, and a couple of things that we got coming up. Hey, before we do our official start, we are going to give everyone about 5 minutes or so to log on, share, and comment that our podcast is on. It's live. So we're going to play our intro video, and we'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. Hey, that was kind of smooth there, coming from the video
to
live. Absolutely. This is the CSRN Weekend Review. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him, and I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 8 years ago, I remember what I used to say 4 years ago. Now it's 8 years ago, and really coming up on 9. They had an idea that just regular people could speak truth to power. They'd arm themselves. And when I say they, that was Jabril and Mike Leonardi, with facts about what's happening in the community and what are some of the things that we can do ourselves. They brought me in a little bit later to help plan out some of the events and activities. And here we are. Today, what do I have on? I have on a sport coat. It's kind of a nail point, blue, black, gray. I've got a blue dress shirt on because I'm just coming from work. I was talking that talk today, so I don't have any offensive T-shirts to wear today. I've got my beads on, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost. No matter the gains or loss, this is the home of Black Lives Matter, Justice or Else. And if you're listening or if you're visually impaired, I have on some brown rimmed glasses, close haircut today, and brown skin. Maybe weight is in the low 200s. I'm working on that, though. Hey, listen, I think I'd said a little bit too much today. All right.
A lot of detail.
Hey, that's all right. All right. Hey, listen, if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing? And man, and then I guess we're gonna get right into the mission statement in the Black Lives Matter moment for you. Yeah. So who are you?
Well, what's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this organization that just keeps going and going, regardless of what's going on in the climate, regardless of what's popular in the news,
That's
regardless of whatever distractions or incentivization that you are given.
Oh, all right.
Remain.
You went right there. Okay. All right.
There's a lot going on,
Okay,
world
right.
balloons and stuff like that, banks getting hacked. But for those of you out there, I appreciate y'all so much. The people that you do see on camera and the people, the millions and millions of us that you don't see on camera.
That's right.
Who haven't been indoctrinated or are worrying about what this person was wearing, who did what lip syncing and stuff like that. Because as in our opening now, this is a lifelong thing. This isn't something you do for a season or anything like that.
That's right.
This is, you either stay dedicated or we find out.
Hey, and most time we find out.
It may take some years, but eventually
we find out.
And for those of you out there listening, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, you're watching us later on, or you're listening to it later on, because I heard that I got a very good radio voice. But I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones, and essentially, as I can see it, my ancestors, the people that have met me throughout my career and respected me enough to take time to talk with me, maybe give me gifts, or I made purchases from them. That's what this whole shackle chain sounding thing is. It's not to look good. It's not for somebody to buy it. It's so I remember everybody that poured into me. Because when I go on stage, which, shameless plug, I got a show tomorrow, I'm not alone. So I don't have to feel any fear because I know what I've done. This is what I've done. I don't have my bands on today because I was at work.
Oh, okay. I just
work.
noticed that. Okay.
The hat is mine. This is the It hat. Shout out to Wayne Green or Greenway Designs. It still stands for Ink Truth. The shirt that I'm wearing is the...
Okay.
You didn't catch it.
It is the African American Wellness Walk.
Yep.
All right.
I walk close to maybe 2 to 3 million miles a month or a year. Thanks to little Fitbit from work and stuff. So now I'm able to track what I do, which is very nice.
Get your steps in.
Yeah. Where we're at right now, 14,000.
Oh my. All right. Yes, sir. I have to drive to get those many steps, but it's all good.
But that's also what this is about. None of our prophets had cars. None of our preachers or anything wore nice suits. They walked in the community. So when you see me in the community with all my bags and stuff like that, I am doing work. I'm not here for you to like me, love me. I'm here to make sure that that history is captured. Whether it be in a newspaper, on our show, me speaking to kids, I'm trying to keep that history going, that you don't have to have everything to be ready. Just be ready. Do something.
Ready.
Take that
Yes,
first
sir.
step. So I think that's enough exposition and stuff like that.
So let's get into the mission statement. And that's really who we are.
Yeah.
All right, from the jump.
That's who we are. Again, the video that you saw, me and Brother Washington was in DC at the same time.
That's right.
So going to stuff like that is where mission statements, where movements,
that's right,
corporations or nonprofits. You can't see my fingers waving. Now you can see my fingers waving. I forgot I only got one arm.
That's
I
right.
Come over. But that's where that gets started. Little small get-togethers. So if you have a foundation, if you're trying to start something up, if you're tired of the same old broken clock, this is how you change. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice, to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right, that's what's up. Hey, listen, before we get right on into some of the things that we're going to be processing today, primarily the raising of the Pan-African flag. Last week, we didn't have enough time to really dive into that, nor the week before.
Yeah, we had some special guests. That's
right. But we got time today.
Yeah, we got time today.
So for you, since 2014, you and I have been together doing this. For you, your Black Lives Matter moment, what are some of the things or one event that really stands out to you?
I mean, to be honest, for me, I don't think of life in moments, but I guess I want to say how we started, which is kind of, which people don't know. We are a mobile community. We'll set up shop anywhere as long as needed be. And sometimes we move on, but us beginning the starting stages at the library.
Right. Kent Branch.
At Kent Branch.
Yeah.
Which, I got to visit there sometimes. I got to visit my library on the east side. But stuff like that is where you really see who's in it for the long haul. We had like 12, 13 different organizations trying to come together. Everybody had their own ideas. It was even a moment where some people thought that their allyship should encroach on our daily lives that they
Right.
what
They
is
know
the
what's
word?
best. They know what's best for us.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the word that's kind of thrown around now for our friends? Is it allies?
I guess we can use that word.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and use that word.
So some people take their allyship, and them being there standing next to you means that they can speak for you. And you know, organizations go through a lot of changes and everything. I love the people that have went on to do other things
Yeah.
like Food Not Bombs or other organizations and nonprofits where their heart really was in it.
That's right.
So yeah, that will be my moment when we first started coming together. I guess to weed out the people who weren't in it for the long haul.
Yeah. And I think that some of the people that it may appear that they weren't in it for the long haul, but some of these people think that they're doing the right thing by telling us how to be black, telling us how to organize, telling us what's important. However, we have to be able to decide to speak for ourselves.
Yep.
All right. So it's really not on them. It's on us if we're gonna allow them to lead us. It wouldn't be their fault if they said, "Hey, let me take responsibility for all of you black people," and we say, "Okay." That's on us.
Yeah.
It's not on them. And when the dominant culture has this thing called, I think it's called the Cronus factor, where they already have the thought that they're going to lead. All right. They already have this thinking that we know what's best. And it's on us to really know who we are and what we want. So when they do decide to say, hey, look, either you let me lead you guys or I'm out of here, hey, you got to be out of here.
Peace, goodbye.
Peace, goodbye.
Hey.
And those are some of the things that I think organizations go through every day. So I was really proud that we put together a mission statement, and really shout out to Sister Yvette Muhammad that adapted the mission statement from some other revolutionary writings that we've had. And everything in CSRN comes from something else.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, our mission statement derives from the mission statement of an organization called Self-Expression Team Theater. And we wanted it to have a community feel. So we organized this mission statement, not with the wording of a youth organization, but with the soul and power.
Yeah.
So that we can have something for ourselves. Hey, listen, before we move into raising the Pan-African flag, I do want to raise up our Nguzu Saba word of the day. And that's going to be Imani, and that means faith. And faith means to believe with all your heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So maybe we get a one of those banners to go up and says Nguzu Saba word of the day. We'll have to get the tech crew to get on their job. All right. Now we're back. Hey, listen, on the 1st of February, today is the 14th, but on the 1st, we raised the Pan-African flag. What did it mean to you? This is our 4th year, if I'm not mistaken. Is it our third or fourth?
Third. And that's been a big thing. It was like, because in 2019, actually, we started talking about this in 2017. And 18, we had something going on. In 19, we kind of got a decent, not yet. And 2020 was the 100-year anniversary. So they really couldn't stop us. They tried to. It was there's always difficulties behind the screen or the doors, but it's to test your resolve.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a respect to my grandmother.
That's beautiful.
Who used to tell me stories of her meeting Dr. King when she was a little kid.
Yeah.
And all this stuff, and then going through her life and having she tried to record an album, and some country singer stole it from her and her sister, and just the struggle of stuff like that. And hearing that every time I raise that flag, every time I raise my fist, which is colored in the RGB flag, or the clothing, like people don't really, it's more of a psychology thing to where I'm always wearing red, black, and green. In my artwork, there is some red, black, and green because I am respecting all of those sacrifices from every single ancestor
Right.
that was waiting on me to do something like that, was waiting on you, whoever you are on the screen, raise your own flag.
That's right.
I think it's important. Somebody the other day got on my page and he gossiped, but they told me that saying any type of race is racist. And I'm like, but this is like literally my month to where I'm supposed to be as proud as possible for everybody that sacrificed for me to be here today, for me to have pride in my skin, for me to have pride in all the inventors and all the actors and all of that stuff that were 400 years ago told you had no name and all this stuff. It's not to be forgotten. I'm not angry about it no more because I'm actively doing stuff. I think that's what changes, and that's what it means to me.
All right. You know, I had my first acknowledgement of the Pan-African flag was, I think maybe in the early 90s. I worked for an organization called SET, Self-Expression Teen Theater, and shout out to Minister Charles Muhammad, who was the founder and the executive director, and big shout out to the Doug, because 20 years my job was at the Doug, and people thought I worked for the Doug. No, I worked in the Doug. And the young people had a march and a chant that was about Marcus Garvey. And the first part of this chant was, the mighty Marcus Garvey, if you ever seen, was a proud black man with red, black, and green. And everywhere we performed in the city, we performed that chant, all right, that call. And when we got an opportunity to raise that Pan-African flag, because I saw something online and somebody, I think it was Pride Month, and they raised the flag, and shout out to all of our brothers and sisters in the struggle. But somebody else commented on the post that I bet they won't raise our flag. All right. So I take that. I'm like, oh, you know what?
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. I didn't type it in, challenge accepted, but hey, that's where I think. And that's where, look, I get most of my ideas in the comments. All right. So I called a couple of people in for the city of Toledo government and was left on red. Everyone said, Brother Washington, if you ever need anything, give us a call. So I was giving them a call because I don't know what it takes to raise a flag. All right. And there's special times that you might see somebody raise a flag for UT, autism, Pride Month, whatever. And I was getting stiff armed. I even asked one of our city council people, hey, look, I'm emailing you. How do you do this? No response back. So to make this story a lot shorter, we attended the NAACP's monthly meeting.
Yep.
And I attended the meeting, had a chip on my shoulder. They asked if anybody had anything to say. And I said, yeah, I've got something to say. I said that in February, I think this was early January then. In February, we're going to raise the red, black, and green flag at City Hall. And if you got a problem with it, you might want to stay out of this one. And I think it was Reverend Perryman that asked me, well, do you know how to do that? I said, I've been trying, but I'm having so much trouble. He said, did you call the Port Authority? I said, no. He said, after the meeting, talk to me. So I talked with him. We got things together. I did what he said, and here we are. Now, soon I'll tell the story between I did what he said and here we are, but I really want to.
Hiccups.
Yeah, but there was, and it should be some hiccups there should be something that's going to test my resolve if I really want this. If I really want this. So there were some things that happened, and there were some people that made it happen, which was really outside of my control. So one day, maybe next week, I really want to get into that, because sometimes people might think that it's a be and it is, and they don't know what happens between the time I said be and it is, and it ain't just Brother Washington and CSRN. Y'all do no. If you really wanted to know what happened, sit down for a minute, and I'll tell you, some of the things that happened. But we're glad that it did happen, and for me, it really shows our love for our community.
Yeah.
That we would actually do that and take all the shots that come with it, and take all the shots now that come with it.
Yeah, to still continue to keep doing it. Again, people get in my inbox every day talking about, well, if it's race, if you got to mention race, it's racist, and I'm like, you don't know your history. So I think because we have this longevity, and even in me and my other careers, I want to sit down with people and tell them all the nitty gritty. You're gonna see me on TV and stuff, but I work 22 hours a day, really.
Right.
Even in my sleep, I'm thinking of stuff I can get up and do to make sure I am proud of leaving my house.
Right. And I think that if you're watching this, and shout out to our sister Rhonda, that's, she's like, oh my.
Hey, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it goes down. But I think that most times people don't get a chance to see the protesters and hear from the activists. Jody has a. All right. Okay. Well, still, we might see her tomorrow. Still, Rhonda. Hey, all right. But we do have regular lives that we live. This is a passion for us, advocating for our community. And then each week we'll come on and talk about some of the things that we've done last week. And right now we're just processing the raising of the Pan-African flag. It wasn't an easy thing to do. It wasn't just going to City Hall and say, hey, we've got this 8-foot by 5-foot flag. Can we raise it? The initial answer is no. The initial answer is no way. The initial answer is, if we do it for you, we got to do it for everybody else. Well, I'm not everybody else. All right. And everybody else isn't with me. So in doing that, really allowed us to level up a bit, allowed us to make sure that we say and do the things in the right manner to get a specific thing done. So shout out to CSRN, the Port Authority. Big shout out to Lucas County Commissioners and Commissioner Pete Gherkin, Tina Wozniak-Skeldon, or is it Skeldon-Wozniak?
Sis, Becky, all of the people there that actually, because this is another thing that I hear from other cities and states, and well, y'all just in good with them. No, I mean, we see these people during election time and stuff like that, but we're not coming over and breaking bread. They see our dedication to our movement, to what we do in the community. A lot of this, I think people get it wrong when they see stuff on the internet.
Yeah,
that is your history. Everything on the internet.
Right.
So if you're pro life, not in that context, but pro doing something that's encouraging life and stuff, but then tomorrow you get on talking about, I'm gonna beat people up or scam people, you're not consistent. Consistency, whether it's now everything on my page, you can go back. I ain't got nothing deleted. Remove photos. If I'm mad at you, you're gonna know about it, and I ain't deleting it. If I have a bad day, it's probably gonna go on there because that's my credibility 10 years down the road.
All right. Hey, look, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we've got a few things that's going on in the community now that we really think you need to hear about. And there's some dynamic people that's making it happen and doing some great things. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and really process that. This is the CSRN Weekend Review. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Week in Review. Yes, I am Brother Washington Muhammad, and we had a couple of clips from Wasion Wellness, Dr. P, and also the Final Call newspaper. If you're not familiar with the Final Call newspaper, it's the paper that the brothers from the Nation of Islam distribute week in, week out, and you can find that newspaper right here in Toledo. If you know where Yummy's is at on Nebraska, check out Yummy's. Check out some of the libraries. Some of the brothers just will drop some in the library so you can pick up. All right. Camp Branch Library is one of those places. Check out Bobby Howard's on the corner of Hawley in Nebraska. Bobby Howard allows us to leave the papers in there so that anybody can pick them up. Check out Powell's Beauty Supply. That is a dynamic business for black hair. So if you got black hair, unlike me, I don't have any hair, but if you do have black hair, stop by Powell's and pick up your Final Call. And also you can pick up the Final Call at your community market at the corner of Nebraska and Pulaski. Seems like Nebraska is getting a lot of the Final Call newspapers.
Yeah.
I'd like to branch that out a little bit more too. So that's the Final Call newspaper. Hey, listen, I wanted to get into a couple of things that's happening in our community. I want to bring up, if I got this slide that I wanted to bring up, it's regarding the Frederick Douglass Community Center. It's their Black History Month events. And I'm going to just process these right now. On February 3rd, they had the Community Commodities Day. On February the 11th, that was on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. They had the Black Wall Street program. That was from 3 to 6. On the 18th, which is this Saturday, they're going to have the Reclaiming Our Music Part 1. This is going to be at Frederick Douglass, so check them out from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Reclaiming Our Music Part 1. February 17th. Hey, they should have put that before. But anyway, all right, it's the Doug. All right. Shout out to the Doug. All right, they work just like me. On February 17th, what's today's date? It's the 14th. So 3 days from now at the Doug, show up for Community Commodities Day. That's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Most likely, Reggie Williams, the director of the Doug, is going to be live on Facebook, letting people know that you can come down, sign up, sign on, get your commodities. On February 24th, We have the Mentors, Mentees movie night. What movies they're going to show? You need to go and find out. All right. So join the Frederick Douglass, and hey, I may be there. Will I be in town? I may be in town. But Mentors, Mentees movie night, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Doug. And then on February 25th, they have the Reclaiming Our Music Part 2. That's from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Frederick Douglass. So stop by the Frederick Douglass. They're doing great things there. If you can, drop by a donation. And you can also go to the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union if you want to leave a donation for the Frederick Douglass. And I always say I'm going to put a reminder on my phone, a monthly reminder, $20. Stop by the credit union, drop $20 for the Doug. That way they can use that money as unrestricted funds. Everyone heard about the million or so that they received, but those were just for building.
Yep.
Those were just construction for improvements that has nothing to do with the enrichment programs. That's on us. So if you can, put a timer in your phone every month, stop by the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union and donate $20. If you got more, donate that. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I might do one of those challenges. Hey, I'm at the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union donating $20 for the Doug. I'm going to challenge Sean Mahone, Brian Bird, this person and that person. Yep. All right. And create something like that. All right. So that's what I had. I got a couple other things that I wanted to process. But did you have anything, Jody, that you wanted to?
Just shout out to everybody doing something in the community. Tomorrow, I am performing at Lucille's inside of Toll House. Shout out to Rhonda Sewell. I think I said the name right.
Yeah, we'll find out next week.
But Toll House is a private club in Toledo.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your membership and stuff. But it's a place for a lot of entrepreneurs. They do have a lot of open events and everything like that for you to come in and do stuff. There's a network mixer coming up and stuff like that, like with Toll House and Lucille's and stuff. Sometimes there's a charge. Tomorrow's show is $15, by the way. Sometimes there'll be tickets at the door. But then sometimes it's just free to go up there. I believe there is a business meeting mixer coming up there soon. But check my page. I'm always into something. But I'll be performing tomorrow with some other people. Shout out to Nicola who is now at The Truth, her art gallery and stuff, and my friend Kay Renee. She just had her first show there on the 9th. So, and it was great. Whole bunch of poets, whole bunch of community. And you know, I realize now this is the 14th. Last time I checked in on stuff I was doing was the 1st.
Okay.
But one thing that's happening tomorrow, if you're local and in the area, Sonia Ramel or Urban Holistics, Sonia Organics, all that stuff, there is a big press conference going on at 11 a.m. You'll see me there tomorrow.
Okay, good look.
Most of the stuff. And there's something on NBC 24. Shout out to The Truth Art Gallery. There's something on The Blade right now about him expanding his reach.
And that's Fletcher Word. Sojourner's Truth.
Yep, which we are actually in the paper again for raising the flag.
All right, this paper right here?
That paper right there.
And who's on the front?
We have our former city council member.
Okay, Dr. Adams.
Yep, Dr. Adams.
Okay. I didn't mean to flap over on her face like that. Sorry, Dr. Adams. You already know what it is.
But there's always so much going on in the community. I tell people to watch what's going on because now I kind of give smaller bites because in the beginning of my career, I was like, hey, I did something today. Let me share all of these photos. Now people know when I go somewhere, by the time you see me, I'm probably taking about 65 photos, 20 videos, because I'm also making sure I keep a log of what goes on in this city. News, they're going to shortcut you. Any type of news, whether it's media or television, they're going to make sure that their sponsors, their people are satisfied with the stuff. So I tried to tell people, even me as a poet, have somebody take video, have a physical recorded
right.
copy, take a photo. Stop doing selfies so much, because I want to see what's going on in your community. The reaction videos, I want to see what's going on in your community. I love other stuff in the world, but right now I'm focused on us. If I don't stay focused on us and I get distracted somewhere, I'm going to be upset when somebody does what I've been talking about. That's some little knowledge right there.
All right, okay. And speaking of talking about what people are doing, I really want to bring this up. This is our I wish they could take that name down, that CSRN stuff down. I don't know why they do what they do.
But there's stuff at the library. My branch is having a whole bunch of stuff too, as well. So stop in, find out what's going on with the public library system, the best one in the entire country.
Right. And big shout out to my branch or Maconda library for rolling out the red carpet for us every week. When we come here and stream live from my branch library, we set up shop here, and people think, hey, you guys got your own studio? Well, it's our tax dollars. So yeah. All right. Hey, I wanted to talk about Women's Self-Awareness Day, Walking with Confidence. Our partner, Haley Shears, you normally see her on every other week, and she comes to talk about the Shears safety segment. Hey, I said it right this time.
Yep.
On February the 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., she's having the Walking with Confidence Women's Self-Awareness Day. This is going to be at the Entrepreneurs Club. That's at 222 Facet Street. I think that's on the east side.
That is on the east side.
All right. So
what time is that? Hopefully, if I'm not at work, I'll be there.
Okay, this is at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 222 Facet. So if I can't be there, if Jody can't be there for our women, come on, sisters. Haley and her staff are putting together an event that we can showcase our sisters' talents. And does that mean men can't come there? No, we can drop in too.
That's what my next question was like, I don't want to be showing up. And be
no, show up. No, that's okay. No, show
male
up.
Masculinity.
That's no, not for. Well, we don't get
well,
that.
We know. We
don't.
But,
right. We don't get that.
The world.
And Haley ain't down with that type of stuff. All right. Anyway, so what's going to happen at Women's Self-Awareness Day, the Walking with Confidence, brought to you by Pretti Protection. They're going to have local vendors. There's going to be free self-defense workshop. Maybe you can be the test person for that. All right. Maybe since you're going to be there. All right.
I'll be the test dummy.
Right. And there's going to be a free yoga class with our sister Arlinda Self and much, much more. If I'm not mistaken, well, we had Brother Lance Self had a Black Lives Matter award. I don't know if Arlinda is related to him.
Yes, she is. So actually, they're both good friends of mine.
Okay.
Both amazing people.
All right.
I know they had some events going down. Somebody I haven't mentioned in a while is Keitha Shears of Hotbox. She's relocated and doing some stuff, but shout out to her as well. But yeah, Arlinda and Lance are great humans and individuals.
All right, great. So on February 25th, Pretti Protection is putting on the Women's Self-Awareness Day. And with me saying this so many times, we might get something from Pretti Protection. All right. We might just get something. So Haley, if you're hearing me, I think I said Pretti Protection at least 7 times. I don't know if that means I get 5 free gifts or whatever, or a gift certificate. If you want to reach Haley, you can reach her at 567-275-1103. That's for vendor registration, or you can direct message Pretti Protection on Facebook. So come on out. It's Women's Self-Awareness Day, Walking with Confidence.
And I'm going to throw one more shameless plug for another local Black vendor in the area, Natural Vibe LLC, here in Toledo, Ohio. They're actually doing something for Black History Month. If you patronize a small Black-owned business or entrepreneur, if you bring in a receipt and you get a book one service of your choosing and you get a discount. So she's doing discounts. If you can bring in a receipt showing you actually did support your Black community, you can look her up on social media, Natural Vibe or NV. I believe it's on Instagram. So shout out to Ash. My sister will be seeing you for her birthday for that massage.
All right. Hey, listen, before we take a short break and we're going to come back, I got a couple other things that we want to process, and then we're going to get right on into 5 minutes of heat.
Yeah.
I wish I had this clip up on the screen, but last week, I'm reading something from This Week in Toledo. This Week in Toledo, I think it was spearheaded by one of our comrades, Sean Nestor, who's been one of our day one allies, all right, in the strongest form. And every week he puts out a weekend review of some of the things that's happened in Toledo that you might want to know. And he had posted that as the media gathered around District 1 Councilman John Hobbs III as he designates Lincoln Avenue, Henry Clark Way. This was last Saturday on February 4th. Mr. Clark was a longtime community figure and mentor to many, including myself, because as we were talking about the Final Call newspapers, every Saturday he would allow me to come into the barbershop. He would always ask me to leave some of the papers, and he would let me just go through the shop, talk with the brothers and some sisters that were there. So big shout out to Port Clark's barbershop. And it says that he had ran the barbershop since 1961, right there on Lincoln in Detroit. And he left us last September. So big shout out to Councilman Hobbs. Big shout out to our brother Henry Clark for that, or for having Lincoln Avenue renamed Henry Clark Way. Another thing that Sean listed was that last Saturday, 3 former mayors, that's Carly Finkbeiner, Donna Owens, and Mike Bell, decried the city's plan to contract with the Louisville-based Cities United for consultation on how to reduce violence in the city. Instead of seeking outside consultants, the mayors formed the Coalition for Peaceful Toledo Neighborhoods last year. And I'm in agreement with that. We know what's happening in our community.
Yeah.
All right. And it really defeats the purpose to call someone outside of the community to come in to talk about what's happening now, as if we don't know. There's many of us that know what's happening. We do have the solutions. However, sometimes city government not too open to embrace that. And lastly, last on Monday, Deputy Safety Director Angel Tucker was terminated from his position for unspecified reasons. I think I met him a few years ago and really like to see, hey, bro, what happened? All right.
Just like the same with Juwan.
Yeah, what's going on?
I made a comment. It's the truth, though. I love my city very much. But some of our leadership only do things for the clips, the good nature of what is stuff. They'll put these people in these positions. I mean, you remember his co-mayor before when he first started and all that good stuff. But they put people at the forefront to get that initial reaction of you're doing good for the community, but they tie their hands. They want to do stuff, but they tell them, well, you have to do it this way. And it's a lot that goes on behind doors in politics, and I hate that part. But I'm not going to give up.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's not worth fixing. It is broken. I think anybody that sees anything going on in the daily life knows the system is broken.
All right.
But we got to fix it.
All right, absolutely. Hey, this last article, and big shout out to once again to Sean Nestor to putting this together. And I'm just reading what he wrote. So if you want to read the whole article, you can find it on Facebook.
Yep.
This Week in Toledo. I think it's called This Week in Toledo. If not, I'll have the
it is.
All right.
I might start porting it to our page.
Yeah. And also on Thursday, the Toledo Plan Commission accepted a request for deferral from Michael Cott and his business Cleanwood Recycling and Future Lawn to consolidate a series of contentious land parcels and change the zoning from residential to light industrial on South Burn near Angola. The proposal was met with opposition from some nearby neighbors. Cott plans to resubmit updated plans at a future date. If you remember, we were involved in that, I think last year, a couple of years ago, and now they're back.
Yeah.
However, there's some things that the Cott brothers haven't done that's right. And myself, CSRN, and the neighbors and the business leaders, the business owners in that area, we are planning to move forward to fight this.
We'll be back.
Right, we'll be back. Well, really, we're there. There's just something that we need to do before they resubmit their request again. And we're working on that, and we should be coming back to you soon with the next step in this. And I hope that we're successful, but we're not going to be unsuccessful without a fight. All right. If our nose is going to get bloody, somebody's getting a black eye. So look forward to hearing more about what's going on at Burn in Angola or Burn in Airport, right near Comrade's Car Wash. If you know where Comrade's Car Wash is, that's the area that they want to make light industrial, but at the same time, they have so many other businesses in the area that's kind of pushing back on that to put it somewhere else or find another way to make that happen. Hey, look, Jody, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, tie up some loose ends, and get into 5 minutes of heat. This is the CSRN, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Weekend Review. I am Brother Washington Muhammad, and I have with me my brother Jody Summers. We just finished processing not only the raising of the Pan-African flag, but we also promoted some of the events that's going on in the community. I wish we could promote all of the things that are happening, but there are people in our community that strive to make it a safe and decent place to live, and we try our best to shout them out so that other people can show up at their events, so that other people can know that there are people that care. What I wanted to say is behind us, we have some placards. One says, "Hands off O'Shea." The other has, "All charges dropped." This is our sister O'Shea Jones that was charged with either obstructing or whatever she was charged with, the charges should be dropped. The police investigated themselves, and the police found that they didn't do anything.
As always.
As always. And hopefully soon, CSRN will be having a public meeting with the new chief of Toledo Police. Right now, there's the interim, so we're just kind of waiting to find out who's going to be the police chief, and we're going to invite him to answer some questions regarding how is he going to keep our community safe from the police. All right, and we hope to have some more updates for you then. So we want you to also keep in mind our sister O'Shea Jones, and we're going to be letting you know when her next court date is and when the next, some of the next things that's happening. I think the last thing that I really wanted to promote today is the crown jewel of Black History Month, that's Savior's Day. If you have no idea what the Nation of Islam is and what the Nation of Islam does, the sole purpose is the resurrection, the mental and spiritual resurrection of our people. And we're in our 93rd year. Every year we have what's called Savior's Day, and that is like a state of the Black America and Black world. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be the keynote speaker. That's going to be live at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. So I'll be there. I think that's on a Sunday, the 26th. I'll be there on the 26th. However, in Toledo, if you say, hey, look, I can't make it there on the 26th, well, we're going to be live streaming it. If you see the ticker at the bottom, we're going to be live streaming it from Muhammad's Mosque number 91. That's located at 1698 Nebraska. All are welcome to come and check that out. Is there a cost? It's no cost at all. Everyone may not be able to make it to Detroit. So for those who can't make it to Detroit and you want to watch it with your brothers and sisters, come to Muhammad's Mosque number 91. If you say, well, I don't have a ride, look, you can log on to noi.org and watch it from the comfort of your home. So family, hey, it's a lot happening for Black History Month. It's a lot happening for us as a people. So, hey, listen, I think that's all I wanted to have for this week, knowing that we got stacks and stacks of stuff that we could be going on forever. Before we get to 5 minutes of heat, is there anything that you think we forgot?
No, not really. Honestly, just don't be deterred by the people who want you to fail, or stop celebrating something because somebody else thinks that you don't have a right to. There's a lot of holidays, a lot of months, a lot of celebrations and stuff. A lot of people don't want you to research or know anything, or they just want you to be complacent. Just follow the trends, follow the whatever's going on in the world. Keep your head down in your phone, and don't look up. Speaking of looking up in balloons and stuff. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, let me say this, because that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
All right, to talk about what's happening over our heads right now. But what I do want to say, Jody, is we need to get our brother Omar Gent back on. We need to get our brother back on. If you don't know who brother Omar Gent is and freeourbrothers.com, you need to know. So hopefully we're going to have our brother back on to talk about some of the things that he's doing in the community to make more and more people aware. So shout out to our brother Omar Gent. We see you grinding it. We see all of the videos, brother. Great work. We love you and look forward to have our brother on soon. All right. We're at 5 minutes of heat. And what is 5 minutes of heat? And what do you have for us today?
Well, 5 minutes of heat is something that I'll be doing live tomorrow and the 18th. It is expression of truth. I have a whole bunch of names and stuff like that, but at the core of me, I'm a poet, which means I talk about the things that go on with me very vocally, very intensely. Some people call me Brother Malcolm. Some people call me Brother Martin. When I get in on stage and perform, I express very powerful things.
High praise.
Yeah, things that people don't think of a lot. That's
Yeah.
how I got my stage name, Spoken Truth. It
That's what's
wasn't
up.
something that I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. In my first year of performing, people kept saying, you the truth, you the truth. And I'm like, I'm just telling my story. I'm telling what I see. I'm not someone, again, I don't watch TV, I don't read newspapers, I make them because I'm consistent.
All
So
right.
we're gonna shift the tone a little bit. Shout out to again Rhonda and Toll House and Lucille's. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I hope everybody there is ready. Because it's I will maybe do something kind of for love, which I'm doing tonight, a sort of thing for love and all that Valentine's Candy Day. But on the 18th, I'm also doing a love scene edition with Niecy Wilder, who, if you guys watch my stuff, we had a microaggression event at UT last year, which was awesome. And so I'm coming back again for the love scene edition, but you know, my love's a little bit different. That's on the 18th. Look at my page. I don't really want to do the shameless plug, come to stuff like that. What I am going to do shameless plug on is that book. So my book, the Childhood Trauma Series, last night I went on and completed my promise. I didn't write my books for money or anything like that. And you'll notice that price up there, if you go to Amazon now, tomorrow, my book is 99 cents for the Kindle version. The paperback is never going to change, but the hardcover, which is the one I just showed you, I've dropped that down in price. I don't believe that I have to inflate my prices to still make a living.
All right.
I'm going to keep dropping my art because that means the knowledge can get out there further and further and further. This is why I put it in the library for free. This is why I go up to people and hand them books. I mean, I make a comfortable living now, but that's only because of sacrifice. So shout out to everybody that supported me over my career. This piece is going and dedicated to a very special friend of mine who, had she not pulled me up on stage March 23rd, 2015, I might have just been hosting until my show back then ended, because people don't really like continually coming out to make them think. They want to be entertained, not think and go home and have to change their world about it. So,
hey, did you want the tech crew to leave that picture?
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was in my dialogue. That's
all right.
awesome.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so this piece is not a Black History Month piece. This is actually called Just Stress, in honor of my friend Keisha Renee, who's a wonderful poet. The jewelry around my neck, she makes that. She's also in the mental health care field and all of that stuff.
All right.
So again, thank you for pulling me on stage. When I write stuff, like Brother Washington is in this book, when I do artwork, I want, even if you aren't an author, if you're an artist or whatever, I have a friend, Jared Boom Frazier, who's a rapper and some other stuff. I want you to be a part of history. So when I go to the library and make sure that's in Congress and everything like that, even you may never know about it, but you are a part of history because I am Black history. So here's Just Stressed for all those wayward lovers out there and stuff like that. Let's begin. Peace. Comfortable again. I like my space here. I get to be the Kermit the Frog, Doctor Who, Cat in the Hat, Marcus Poppins, still looking for Mary. Where's Waldo, Man in Black? Checking my watch like the Cheshire Cat. This Mad Hatter, white whale of a unicorn, riding my own rainbow, trying to find my own Neverland. No one can harm you if they don't know enough about you to make false statements to other people who would believe them. Not waiting for someone to catch me if they can, because I am nobody's gingerbread man. But I'll dance to the music inside my head like the Pied Piper, moving down my yellow brick road, and sometimes people come to dance. Just a guy, a simple man, warm and comforting like a bonfire. But if you get too close, I do burn. I am all consuming, and I do not have pity for those that try and put me out. I just want to provide warmth, a safe space for you to stay until another companion comes along the way. Do not take me with you unless you plan on taking care of me too. No smothering, and make sure to keep me fed with good stories as kindling and boundaries provided by the connection between me and you. Yeah, this went left real quick. But that's literally how my brain works. If you have a conversation with me, that's what's going to happen. I'm so serious, though. This is the only type of partner I'm looking for. Someone that can read between the jumbled lines and still care to reach me in the end. I paid attention to too many fairy tales growing up, and I truly wish there was some type of quest or dragon to fight to find the love of my life, because trying to prove myself to all these damsels have only left me stressed, just stressed. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. All right, brother. Thank you, Jody, for blessing us with that. And another big shout out to our brother Omar Gent. Brother says, powerful, powerful, powerful truth, brother. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. Hey, listen, before we close out, hey, we want to remind everyone, if you like what we do, we'd like for you to comment, all right, as Brother Omar Gent just did. Subscribe to our YouTube page, share it, like it. This is our YouTube page. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers. To you, it may not sound like much. To us, it sounds like 1 million, all right?
Yeah, because then we'll be able to post and keep people updated in other ways than videos.
Right, and you can find us at Community Solidarity Response Network, or as you've seen in our, I think in our header, we have the YouTube page there. But just go to YouTube, type in Community Solidarity Response Network, and you'll find our page. Subscribe to it, like what we do, comment. And if you want to support what we do, you can support us via Cash App, CSRN 419, or PayPal, CSRN 419. And you can follow us on all of the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube that we're trying to push now. We're really trying to get our YouTube presence up. And as always, all lives can't matter until
Black lives
matter. And Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives, what does it say? All right, let me say that again. Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else.
Yay, yay.
Peace.